Hey friend, this is episode number 557 of the ANSO podcast with Taylor Bradford. Let's get to it. Boss Girl Creative presents ANSO with Taylor Bradford, business and life musings from a successful serial entrepreneur. Each week, you will hear Taylor spill the tea on all things business, life, relationships, health, and everything in between. But don't worry, each week also includes a business nugget that will help you stay on course. And now a throwback to 3-year-old Taylor who inspired all of this.
ANSO.
Hello, welcome to episode 557. I'm your host, Taylor Bradford. Thank you so much for being here, for pressing play. We are talking about Instagram automation today. That is the business nugget. Before I get there, let's talk about what's been going on in my world since last time. So I finally started planting out my onions, and I didn't quite realize how many onions I was actually growing until I started pulling them apart and getting them in the ground. I thought I was going to have one row of onions. So I have 4 different onion varieties that I'm planting out, and I think it's going to be 2 rows. So I will have to increase my garden, I think 2 rows. I didn't realize how many onions I was growing. Anyways, I got through 3 books from last week to this week. 2 were in the Kinsey Millhone series by Sue Grafton, number 15 and 16. O is for outlaw, P is for peril. I actually am really sad because I'm getting really close to the final book she wrote in this particular series before she passed away. And so I'm like, I'm getting so close to Y. I just finished P is for peril. Anyways, I love that series, so 5 stars. And then I saw on audiobooks.com, which is an app similar to Audible, that they had one of the first Nancy Drew books. And so I downloaded that one, The Secret of the Old Clock, Carolyn Keene, and I'm totally a Nancy Drew kid. So that was actually really well read. So the Nancy Drew books obviously are meant for a younger reading level, and I was really impressed with how that story moved, knowing that it is a younger reading level. And 5 stars, like just for the narrator, 5 stars. I enjoy the series anyway, and very nostalgic for me. So yeah, that's what I got through between this week and last week. Our house build. So our windows are 85% in. They look so freaking good. We have 5 windows that they need to install. We realized that the kitchen opening was framed out too big, and I'm not 100% on how he's going to fix that, but he's going to have to fix it. Both my framer and my builder, actually. And I don't know how he's going to do that because I don't think he's a welder, but anyways, so the kitchen window can't go in until that is fixed. The fireplace stone started. So we started on our fireplace stone on the exterior fireplace, and it looks amazing. Like, I am so pleased with how it is looking so far. They will not be able to do the inside fireplace until sheetrock is on, and we are foamed because of just the finish out that has to happen before they can stone the inside. And they make a big mess, so I'm really not looking forward to that, considering my sheetrock will be on. But anyways, that's how it works. My HVAC rough-in started. My electrical rough-in is almost finished. My gas lines are in. So we're getting close to being finished with rough-in on plumbing. So yeah, we're just trucking right along. All right, let's talk about my course. So currently 0 sales, 276 page views on the actual checkout page itself. I need to install some Google tracking. There are other tools that I could install, but they are like megabucks, and I'm not making money right now, and I don't want to install something that is megabucks. I'm all for investing in like the right tools, but not to really sink myself in the hole. So I'm going to install some Google tracking on my checkout page to really look at the traffic into the like nitty gritty. I also want to put one of those heat maps or hot maps on the checkout page so I can see where people are getting to in the checkout page to see where they're exiting. So those are two things that I definitely want to get added to the checkout page. I have made some updates in the last week, so I want to get some more eyeballs before I make any additional changes. And I think that is one thing that really hurts people is they make a change and then expect something to happen. And when it doesn't, they make another change without allowing the first change to really take effect. So I need to do some research on how long you wait, like how many more views do you need before you make more changes. But I also think the tracking software through Google and then either a heat map or a hot map will be very beneficial in helping me figure out what is effective and what is not. The big update is Instagram. And then a little caveat to like where I'm going as far as like going all in with a social platform. So I have made the decision to go ahead and go all in on Instagram. My strategy is working, and that's what I'm going to briefly talk about is the fact that the strategy is working and why I decided to go Instagram versus TikTok. So I am deeply concerned about the recent privacy policy and just terms of service that TikTok has implemented. When the US took over TikTok data storage, they made some pretty big updates to their terms of service and privacy policy that are well beyond the scope of what Meta has ever added into their terms of service or their privacy policy. What TikTok is tracking and what you have given them the ability to track with their most recent change is mind-boggling, and it's scary. And adding scary and mind-boggling together, I don't think I want to be a part of the app anymore. So I have reduced my activity on TikTok. And because now I have a strategy that is working on Instagram, and granted, it is a week long, but it has maintained itself. It's actually gotten better. And so that's what I want to talk to you about with this particular part of my course update. Is Instagram. So last week I told you that I was able to finally break out of the muck with Instagram and get some traction and get some movement forward, which just still brings me tears of joy because like I felt so stuck. I wish like I've been on the hunt for the notebook that I was tracking all of my stats in, and I've misplaced it. I don't know which notebook because I use a bunch of different notebooks. Anyways, I haven't figured out how many followers that I gained starting last January 1, 2025 when I was experimenting by posting a reel a day, but also posting it on TikTok and YouTube Shorts to see where I was getting the most traction. And it was TikTok. So I'm pretty certain I didn't gain more than 50 followers last year, all of last year. And I have in 10 days, I have gained 374 followers on Instagram using the strategy I talked about last week. So if you haven't listened to episode 556, I want you to do that. So January 31st at noon, it was like 12:01, I finished deleting like 1,700 something followers off of my Instagram. So I had 3,623. I reduced it down to 1,876. And like I said last week, I just got tired of sitting there hitting the little tiny X button, deleting people. I would have kept going, but it was like several hours into that and I was just over it. So 1,876, that was a really good purge, by the way. So as of February 10th, which is the day I'm recording this, I have 2,250 followers. Now, since I have been sitting here, I have seen 2 more people follow me, but I'm not adding them right now. I will add them into later this evening. But I have gained 374 people in 10 days. That is an average of 37.4 follows a day. on my Instagram. Now, what am I doing? I have that follower ad going, which is me just showing a well-performing reel. That is my ad. And Instagram just overlays, Meta overlays, this will be your new best friend, or this is your new Instagram follow, or whatever they're adding. I don't know. But all they are doing is clicking that link and going to my profile. That is the ad. Whether or not they choose to follow me is still on them to make that decision. It is not me buying followers. So I have gained 374 people with that ad going. Plus, I still have the original ad that I thought would, and now I have not looked at this particular ad to see how it's performing, but I have 2 Instagram ads going through Meta. I have one on performing reels that got me follows, and that is also a follower type setup. And then I have the interests turned on. And that I think is really what is funneling the followers. But I'm posting a reel to my profile at 7 a.m. I've not missed that. And I'm also adding 2 trial reels a day. And I am posting them in the morning, about an hour apart from each other. And the wait is just a psychological thing for me. It really probably doesn't mean a hill of beans because I'm using a different audio, but it is just what I'm doing. So the 7 a.m. reel is posted to my profile. And then around 8 a.m. I post a trial reel, and around 9 a.m. I post a trial reel. Now, what has been really cool, which didn't really happen before when I was doing trial reels. Now, before when I was doing trial reels, I was just duplicating my reel posted to my feed and then posting the same thing over to trial reels. And that really wasn't a strategy in and of itself other than duplication. So I'm not doing that. I'm creating content that is nurturing my existing audience for the reel to my profile. And then I'm creating follower type content in trial reels, trying to get people to want to come and learn from me. So they're getting the nurture and the learning content on my profile, but I'm also getting fun follower type content. This is who I am. This is how you can learn from me in trials. There is a actual strategy I am employing over on trial reels. Now, like I said, the one thing that has been happening over on trial reels is some of my reels are taking off, and Instagram is alerting me to that and saying, do you want to go ahead and push this over? It is it's hot right now. Push it to your feed to keep the momentum going. And that strategy is working. That particular push to my feed is actually causing those reels to keep going with followers on my actual profile. It's wild to see this kind of traction landing for my account. Now, I want to say I went back to before this strategy was implemented, and I was getting from January 25th to January 31st, I was getting 4,729 views to my content. When I first screenshot this next data, my range was February 1st to February 4th. Now we're at February 10th, and I'm going to say what the number is for February 1 to February 10. Actually, I'll go February 4 to February 10 or February 5th to February 10. Anyways, February 1 to February 4, those 4 days, I was at 23,800 views to my content. 4 days. So an entire week leading up to my new strategy, 4,729 views. Now, 4 days later, 23,800 views. Now, let me tell you where I'm at now. From February 5th to February 9th, I'm at 26,021 views. Now, if I go back and just say February 1 to today, I'm at a total of 49,825 views, and 18.7% is coming from my ads. So I am hitting 12%, 12.2% of my followers and I'm hitting 87.8% of my account is hitting non-followers. I have reached 23,147 different Instagram accounts from February 1st to February 9th. Holy cow. Like, holy cow. To actually feel like a strategy is finally working, it's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing. So, I told you for my course itself, the checkout page, I said I had 276 page views so far to that. I need to install that Google tracking. I am currently using Pretty Links as my actual URL that is being clicked on. So I can see those clicks, but I need more feedback for that. But all that to say, to finally have movement on my Instagram account and people are going to this checkout page, like, I am so blown away by something that's actually working. So 1 reel at 7 a.m. I don't miss that. And 2 trial reels posted in the morning. And if Instagram thinks that they are doing well, like if there's enough indication, it will alert me to post. And the content still aligns with my actual profile, even if it is more followers, like me nurturing and saying follow for more content like this, or follow for more organic gardening advice or tips or whatever. Like, it's working. I have not been more thrilled with myself in a long time. Holy cow. Okay, so let's get into search bar confessions. I Googled how to make tasty chicken broth for wontons because we are on a wonton kick right now. We started them out like pan frying them. Now we're oven baking them, kind of frying them. Oh my goodness, they're good. Is there a wiggle nose gif on Instagram from Bewitched? How to pair Ray-Ban Wayfarer story glasses. So we actually have the first gen Ray-Ban Wayfarers. And I was like, oh, this would be really cool content if I could wear them in my garden and you get an eagle eye view of what I'm doing. And so I was planting out my onions. I wore them. I got some video. I just have to see how it actually turned out. I have plenty more onions to plant out. So if it didn't like turn out the way I wanted it to, I still have opportunity to figure out how to use these sunglasses in my content. I have not seen a gardener do this. So this is what I'm doing. And then keeping tomatoes. I'd never heard of keeping tomatoes, but they are an Italian type tomato and they are hung up like chilies. They are called a keeping tomato. And now I want to grow keeping tomatoes. I think I will get some seeds and then start them in June because I'm already too late. Like, I should have started that. I should have learned about keeping tomatoes at the end of December. But I'm going to get some. I found them through Baker Creek. I'm going to get some and get them planted out or seed started in June for my fall so that I have tomatoes all winter. Like, how fun would that be? And then, yeah, that's it. That's all of my search bar confessions for the week. Now let's talk about using ManyChat. That is this week's business nugget. So I decided to go ahead, get the free trial again with ManyChat under the farm account, and using automation to also help me nurture these people that are coming to my account. And so I have 3 different types of automations going through ManyChat, and I'm working to get a ManyChat affiliate code for you. So stay tuned for that because this is working for me and I want it working for you too. So I am using the story replies automation. So turn story replies into leads. I am pitching 1 story a day to like my course, 1 story a day to my course. I am making sure that I'm hitting that every single day. And that has run 40 times in this 10-day window since I started it. And then I also have an auto DM link from comment. So any of my reels that say comment this word to get this thing, I have run that 6 times in, like, I've got reels doing that. Like, that is part of my caption, but it is run 6 times since I turned it on. Actually, a couple of different times I noticed it didn't fire, and I had to physically go in and like have a conversation with these people, which is fine. I realize it's a robot and it could fail, but it has tracked that it has run 6 times. It's actually supposed to have run a few more times from that, but 6 official times. And then the third automation that I have running through ManyChat right now is the say hi to new followers. So initially, I tried the one that they recommended, which was want to give you a gift as a thank you. And I used a 50% off code to my course as a thank you to follow me. And I actually had that going for about a week, like 5-ish days. And I was like, I only have one thing that I'm selling. My whole goal for this 1 year, starting January 21, is for the 5 ones that I am working towards. I'm not selling anything else other than my course. Now, occasionally I will throw out an affiliate link to a seed company or a garden company or whatever in my stories. But like my hard and fast, what I'm selling, every single like piece of content that is focused towards the 5 ones is my course. And then I was like, if I am to new followers, if I'm already giving them access, they don't know me yet. So there's no trust there, even though like I have like said, hi, this is who I am. Thank you for following me. I have something for you as a thank you. Like, I was like, is that really a solid strategy? So I started second guessing it, and I second guessed myself enough that I changed it. So this is the strategy that I am doing now. This automation has fired 263 times to date. Now, like I said, the first 5 days I was running this, I was giving the code, but then I changed it, and this is what it says now. Hey there, thanks for following me, huggy emoji. I'm excited to be a part of your gardening journey. 2 questions. What are you most excited to grow in your upcoming garden season? And what are you hoping to learn this year to make you a better gardener? And then a little seed emoji. And then I add PS. If garden pests, aka those pesky bugs, or companion planting or organic gardening methods are top on your learn list this year, I've got a brand new course out, Stop Garden Pests Organically, that fits that bill. Want me to send you the details? Click that button below. If not, you will not hurt my feelings, but I still want to hear your answers to my 2 questions above. I love chatting with fellow gardeners. And so then there's a button they could click, yes, send it over. So that is what fires when somebody follows me. Within 5 minutes, it will send that out to them. I have had some of the most fun conversations with people I would never have connected with without Instagram. And getting to chat with people that actually respond to that. It's probably 10% that are actually following through on those 2 questions. And it just gives me an opportunity to teach and to share and to nurture these people. And the fact that I am taking that time to have these conversations, I know if somebody were doing that for me, first of all, anybody that I follow that engages with me, I am going to engage back more with, because they're taking time out of their day to have a conversation with me. And especially when they come back and reply multiple times, that means the world to me. And I want to be able to make somebody feel that way as well. And I have just met some really cool people, and these people are now commenting on my reels. They are commenting back through stories and asking me questions. And that's exactly what I want to happen. I want to build a community around Sugar Creek Farm, and I want to be able to help people have access to knowing how to grow food organically. It is so simple to grow your own food, really. And I mean, we all as gardeners, even master gardeners, run into pests. We can all deal with them. It doesn't matter how seasoned you are, how many years you've been gardening. That doesn't matter. Pests will show up when plants are stressed. End of story. But I'm getting to have conversations with people and learning about them as gardeners and what they're excited to grow. And like one lady just responded as I'm sitting here. By the way, I've gained 8 more followers since sitting here. I am 23 minutes into this recording, 8 followers since I started. Just like, I'm blown away. Anyways, this girl responded to my questions. I'm for pollinators and grow for bees, birds, and butterflies. Luckily, I live in a farming community where I can get fresh produce. So I double tapped, I hearted her comment, and I said, oh, I love this. What are your go-to flowers? Like, keep the conversation going. How can you do this? How can you mimic what I'm doing on Instagram? And like I said, the change in TikTok, their privacy policy and their terms of service, I now know where I'm focused. I'm focused on Instagram. I finally have movement. I've never had movement before prior to 10 days ago. And I'm just ecstatic about it. I'm ecstatic to see where this will take me. Oh my gosh. I can't wait till I have a code for you for ManyChat, because how cool are these conversations? Like, I talked to somebody the other day about like they're growing everything on a trellis in their backyard. And I said, oh my gosh, tell me what you're growing. And she wrote back, like she told me what she's growing. And so now I'm like, well, what varieties are you excited about? Like, I want to talk to people that have figured out how easy it is to grow food. And I want to make that accessible for more people. I'm just going to keep singing this strategy. And yes, it is costing money, but I'm spending less than $16 a day. That's it. Less than $16 a day to get traction, to like, and I want to say, not all of these followers are coming from ads. I'm getting followers from trial reels. I'm getting followers from people landing on my content. I'm getting people talking to me in stories that I don't know if they are actually my follower or not. Like, I'm just blown away with this, that it's working. Yep. So, all right. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Oh, by the way, happy early Valentine's Day. By the time I record next week, it will already be past that. Give yourself permission. Go get yourself something nice. Pamper yourself a little bit. Grow a garden. Like, grow something in your backyard. And until next week, I hope you have a great rest of this one. And like my 3-year-old self said, that is all for this week. Friendly reminder to rate and review my show wherever you are listening. And last but not least, I'd love to hear from you. Leave me an audio message at bossgirlcreative.com/speak. I would love to hear your takeaways, ideas for upcoming episode topics, and your feedback. Thank you again for listening to this week's episode. And until next time, I hope you have a great rest of this one.